Hello everyone, myself Dr. Dhiren Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Applied Sciences, KITE, Gazava. Today presentation topic is laser part 2. In part 1 we have discussed about some basic concept as absorption, spontaneous emission, stimulated emission, and in this part we will discuss about population inversion, pumping, various levels of laser, ruby laser, helium neon laser, and applications of laser. Now, population inversion. So first see this diagram and let us assume that N1 is the number of atoms in ground state and N2 is the number of atoms in excited state. And if N1 is greater than N2, so there is a more chance for absorption phenomena to takes place. But for a laser action, we have required N2 should be greater than N1 for stimulated emission takes place. So the situation in which the number of atoms in higher energy state exceeds than the lower energy state is known as population inversion, and this state is required for stimulated emission. Now, pumping. Pumping is the process of achieving population inversion is known as pumping of atoms. That is the goes of atoms from lower level to higher energy level with the process of pumping. There are some examples of pumping method: optical pumping, electrical discharge method, and chemical process. In optical pumping there is pumping by photons. In electrical discharge method there is pumping by electrons. In chemical process pumping is done by chemical reaction. Now topic is various levels of laser. All lasers are categorized in 3 level lasers or 4 level lasers. But one most important point is that laser action is not possible in 2 level lasers, because in 2 level lasers rate of absorption is equal to rate of emission. So all lasers are 3 level lasers or 4 level lasers. Now 3 level lasers. This is the energy level diagram of a 3 level lasers. There are energies E1, E2 and E3. E1 is energy of ground state, E2 is energy of metastable state, and E3 is the energy of excited state. As we know that initially the majority of atoms is in ground states. So by the pumping transitions they goes from E1 to E3. So it is known as pumping transition. As we know very well, E3 is a very short life state or unstable state for atoms. So after their lifetime, that is the order of up to 10 to power minus 8 second, they comes from E3 to E2, or that is known as radiation less transition, and it is a very fast decay. And metastable state has a longer lifetime than E3 state, that is the order of 10 to power minus 3 second. So we will get the population inversion between E2 and E1 states. So from E2 there will be a first spontaneous emission, that is the transition number 3. This spontaneous transition will stimulate other photons to comes down to the lower state, and now we have two photons. These two photons will knock out to other atoms to come down to the lower state, and this process goes up to several times, or finally we will get the highly collimated beam between E2 and E1 states. So this is the energy level diagram of 3 level lasers. Now 4 level lasers. There are 4 energy levels. 0 with energy E1 is known as ground state. 3 which is known as energy level E4, that is higher energy state. Energy level 2 which is known as upper metastable state. 1 which is known as lower metastable state. So firstly we know majority of atoms is in ground state. So by the pumping process, they goes from lower level to higher energy level. As we know that lifetime of higher energy states of atoms is the order of 10 to power minus 8 second. So after this lifetime, they goes from energy level 3 to 2 energy level, that is the upper metastable state. So we will get the population inversion at metastable state at 2 and lower metastable state. So there will be the laser transition between these two levels. After this laser transition, atoms comes down to the ground state. There are some advantages of 4 level lasers than 3 level lasers. These advantages are less pumping power required in 4 level lasers, and continuous operation is possible, and efficiency of 4 level lasers is higher than 3 level lasers. Now ruby lasers. Ruby laser is an example of solid state laser. Solid state lasers firstly made by T.H. Memon et al. In year 1960, and ruby laser is the world first laser. It is a 3 level laser, and ruby rod is an active medium. Optical pumping is used for pumping action. The two ends of the ruby rod, which are polished, are used as optical resonator. The power output is 10 to power 4 to 10 to power 6 watts. The output is in the form of pulse beam of light, and wavelength is 6943 angstrom. Now construction of ruby laser. It consists a ruby rod, cylindrically rod, whose ends are optically flat and parallel. Ruby rod is a crystal of aluminium oxide doped with chromium oxide. Doping percentage is 0.05%, so that some of aluminium ions are replaced by chromium ions. These impurity of chromium ions give pink color to the ruby rod and give rise to laser action. So we can say that chromium ions are responsible for laser action. One end of ruby rod is fully silvered and the other is partially silvered. And upon the ruby rod is wound a coiled flash lamp filled with xenon gas. As we can see here, this is a ruby rod, and this end is fully silvered and this end is partially silvered. On this ruby rod, a coiled flash lamp is wound here, and here is also a cooling system from which we will cool the ruby rod. Now energy level diagram of ruby laser. As we know very well, ruby laser is an example of 3 level lasers. So there are 3 energy levels, E1, E2 and E3. These energy levels are for chromium ions. So firstly, chromium ions are initially in ground state. So after the pumping transition, when we flashed on of xenon lamp, so chromium ions are irradiated by the photons of wavelength 5500 angstrom, and chromium ion goes from lower level to higher level, and from higher level they comes down to the metastable state. This is a radiation less transition. As we know, we will get the population inversion between E2 and E1 state. So firstly we will get the spontaneous transition of 6943 angstrom, and this photon will comes again the system and stimulate other chromium ions to comes down to the lower state. Now we have 2 photons. These 2 photons repeated this process again and again, and finally we will get the collimated pulse beam of light of ruby laser of wavelength 6943 angstrom. Now applications of ruby laser. Ruby laser is used in weather forecasting, that is LIDAR. light detection and ranging. It is used in soldering and welding. It is used to test the quality of the materials. It is used in laboratory experiment. It is also used in treatment of retina. Now the topic is helium neon laser. Helium neon laser is a gas laser and made by A. Zevan et al. In year 1961. It is a 4-level laser and gas laser. Gas laser means here laser medium are gases. Helium and neon gases are the active mediums. Here we use electrical discharge method for pumping action, and a pair of plane mirrors are used as optical resonator. In helium neon laser, the power output is 0.5 to 50 milliwatts. The wavelength of output beam is 6328 angstrom, and the nature of output is continuous beam of light. Construction of helium neon laser. A mixture of 7 parts of helium and 1 part of neon gas is contained in a glass tube at a pressure of about 1 mm of mercury. It means majority of helium atoms and minority of neon atoms. At both ends of the tube are fitted optically plane and parallel mirrors, one of them being partially silvered and one is fully silvered. The spacing of the mirrors is equal to an integral number of half wavelength of laser light. An electrical discharge method is used in the gas mixture by electrode for pumping action. We can see here, this is a glass tube in which helium and neon gases are filled at the ratio 7:1. This end we have fitted fully silvered mirror, and at this end we have arranged partially silvered mirror, and electrical discharge method is used for pumping action. Now energy level diagram of helium neon laser. As we can see here, helium is only responsible for pumping transition and neon is responsible for laser transition. As electric discharge passes through the gases, so high energetic electrons collide with helium and neon atoms. So after gaining the energy, helium and neon atoms comes to their metastable state. But some unexcited neon atoms are also collide with helium atoms, so all neon atoms comes into their metastable state. The energy of upper metastable state in neon cases is 20.66 electron volt, and lower metastable energy state is 18.70 electron volt. So we will get the laser transition between these two metastable states, that is upper metastable state and lower metastable state. So we will get the first spontaneous transition, that is the wavelength of 6328 angstrom, and this photon stimulate other neon atoms to comes down to the lower state, and finally we will get the output of wavelength 6328 angstrom, and this output is in the form of continuous wave. After this there will be a spontaneous transition, that is has a broad spectrum, and after that there is a radiation less transition. Now applications of helium neon laser. Helium neon laser is used in laboratory experiment to produce interference and diffraction. It is also used in optical communication without fiber for moderate distance. It is used in supermarkets to read the barcode. Helium neon laser is used in ophthalmology. Helium neon laser can be used to produce holograms. Now Some advantages of helium neon laser. The output is a continuous wave mode. As we have seen, the output in ruby laser was in the form of pulse wave. The output of helium neon laser is more monochromatic and more directional than ruby laser. It has high stability of frequency and it is less expensive in comparison to ruby laser. In last, applications of lasers. Lasers have so many applications, but I have mentioned here some most important applications. That laser is used in the field of communication, as in fiber optics. It is also used in microwave communication or underwater communication networks. Laser is used in computers to improve the storage capacity. It is also used in industry for drilling fine holes in diamonds, teeth, paper clips, hard seats, and even in human hairs. Medicine. In the field of medical, it is used in microsurgery, treatment of kidney stone, tumor, in cutting and sealing the small blood vessels in brain operations. Or at the last, it is also used in military applications, used to destroy like big objects, that aircrafts, missiles, and also laser gun, that is also called as death ray. Thank you.